Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video let's have a closer look at this Asus Vivobook 14. And guys, if you recall, this is for that work from home project series that I have started, and just a few days ago I had posted a video about this Avitapura. This is a very affordable laptop with the AMD Ryzen 5 3500U processor. The specs were very good, but the build quality is very average. This Asus is almost exactly the same in terms of specs. This one also has the AMD Ryzen 3500U processor. Comes with 8 GB of RAM dual channel and 512 GB of SSD, but this is a lot more expensive. This specific model on Flipkart was for 42,000, but guys, I found one more variant of the same laptop, almost similar specs, but that had 256 GB of SSD instead of 512, and that was for 35,000 on Amazon. I'll leave all the links in the description. And it came with just this box, guys. I'll just keep to the side, and the power adapter cable and the laptop itself. That's it. Nothing else was there in the box. So let's have a closer look at this and what do I feel about this laptop. Now I've used it for about 1.5 days, so I'll share my experience, initial experience also, and some of the main differences that I noticed between these two laptops. So guys, this is the laptop itself. We'll come back to this later. And this is the power brick. And as you can see, this is a lot compact power brick compared to the others that you're getting. So that's actually nice. Let me show you the laptop first. And this one actually weighs 1.4 kilograms. And the build quality is good. Again, this top area is also plastic, but good quality plastic, I would say. And resists a lot of fingerprints. And this is that nice blue color, I feel. Bottom is again totally made up of plastic, and you have screws. You can open the back if you really want. And we have two speakers over here, left and right, and I feel the speakers are slightly better than the average Windows laptop, slightly louder. And let me show you the ports first, then we'll look at other things. Here we have the 3.5mm headphone jack as well as the line. We also have a USB Type-C port, but sadly you cannot charge the laptop with this Type-C port. We have one USB port, a full-size HDMI, and your power brick will actually go in over here. Bottom, if you look at it, we have a lot of vents to dissipate the heat. The air flows from here, it picks up and comes out of here. And we have a Kensington lock. Again, one more USB port, and this denotes that's on standby, and when you charge, another LED also comes. And we also have a micro SD card reader on the same. And you can't lift it with a single hand, it lifts, so you have to hold it like this and open. And if you look at here, we also have actually a fingerprint sensor. I'm just going to use that and log in. So that's actually nice. And it's a full HD panel that Asus is giving us, but the color, the NTSC garment is just 45% on this one. So not that great for color accuracy. As you can see, the color does shift a little bit when you tilt. So you have to tilt to a proper angle to get the best color what you want. But I like the hinge quality on this one. This is actually pretty sturdy. If you move, this won't just flop like this. So that way I feel the laptop is sturdy, and the hinge quality has decent stiffness towards it. So in terms of build quality, I would say I'm okay with the build quality. And I also like the fact that if you just look at the screen, the bezels are actually very thin on this one, actually much better than many of the even more expensive laptops. Generally they have a big thick border over here, but here, as you can see, all the four borders have very thin bezels. Moving to the processor, let me actually show you guys. It comes pre-installed with Windows 10 Home, and this is CPU-Z, and as you can see, this is running on the AMD Ryzen 5 3500U processor. That's based on 12 nanometer process, and it's a 15-watt processor, U series processor that we are getting. And if we go to memory, it's 8 GB of RAM, and it's in a dual channel, so that's actually a nice thing. And graphics will be integrated Vega 8 graphics that you are getting. I also actually ran some benchmarks on this one to give you an idea how it performs, so that you can compare it if you have your own. It comes with the SSD, actually a good SSD, 512 gigabyte SSD, and as you can see, we got some very good scores here with the SSD. So the SSD what Asus has given is actually really good. For example, on the Avita Pura, I was just hovering around the 500 mark. Here we are getting 1700. So a very good SSD, fast SSD what they have given. And if we go to other, for example, I ran even the Geekbench benchmark, and here for single threaded we got a score of 736, and for multi-core we got a score of 2797. Again, this is a typical average score that we are seeing with the AMD Ryzen 3500U series of processor. But again, if we compare it with Intel Core i5 8th generation, this is better, I would say. And specifically in GPU test, this is Cinebench, and in Cinebench for OpenGL we got a respectable score of 50.72 FPS, and on the CPU we got a score of 565. So this should give you an idea about the performance of the laptop. Now those are the benchmarks and stuff. What about regular usage with this laptop? The regular usage is fine. The only thing, as I've told you, I don't like the screen quality on this one. The screen quality is pretty average, but the keyboard is actually good on this one. Another thing that I like with the keyboard is that if you notice here, it has backlighting and multiple levels of backlighting. So at night, the keyboard actually glows. You can't, I'll dim the lights and show you a B-roll. So it is easier to use at night, and you have multiple settings for the same. So I like that. And the keyboard travel is very good on this one. So that's actually nice. We also get that Windows authentication, as I told you. If you just keep it like this and you come back, you don't have to put in your password or something. Just press this, and now if you just hold this, so it's a very fast fingerprint scanner on this one. So that's actually nice. And the keyboard is good. Also, one thing I noticed compared to the Avita Pura is that, for example, we do a casual browsing like this and all those things. And with Avita Pura, with about 3-4 tabs just doing regular work, the fan used to blow up quite a bit. That's not the case on this one. Yes, the fan do come on this one, but that was only when I was doing some slightly heavy tasks. So that way I would say the fan noise is kept very low. But in terms of battery life, here again I would say it is sort of average on this laptop. It's a 37 watt hour, so it's not a very big capacity battery. I would say anywhere between 3 to 4 hours of battery life you should expect. Asus claims about 6 hours, but I think so that will be only when you're just sitting here and watching videos or doing something like that. Moving to speakers, I felt this has that Sonic Master speaker. Let's keep it on 100% volume, and let's try to just play back one of my own videos here. Again, if you notice, the viewing angles are simply not that good. My net connection is a little bit slow. Moving to Wi-Fi, it has Wi-Fi AC, that is Wi-Fi 5 support provided. And some of you have asked me why I'm not testing the AMD Ryzen 4000 series of laptop processors. Those are the latest. This is last year's processor. Those are actually very expensive. For example, let's just try to play one of the videos to give you an idea about the sound. Where did that go? My connection, man, that sucks today.
Grammarly does more than capture.
Let's skip this.
With Grammarly, you can find really good, no, perfect.
Hi guys, this is Ranjit, and in this video, let's do the review of this One Audio Pro 10 headphone. These are sort of budget-oriented. So I would say the speakers are louder than many of the laptops in this price range, certainly better than the Avita and even my more expensive Swift 5. So they are better, but again, don't expect the speakers to compare to a MacBook Air or something like that. Those are way superior, but much better than many of the Windows laptops that I have seen. Moving to the webcam, it's a typical, VGA webcam. Here is a sample. This sample video with the front-facing camera of this Asus Vivobook 14, and again, like a typical webcam, don't expect too much, but I feel it should be okay for typical Zoom calls and stuff. And the audio is also being recorded via its internal microphones. Moving to the trackpad, I like that it's a glass trackpad that is provided, and again, we have Windows precision drivers even on this one. So the scrolling and everything is very smooth on this. You don't have to worry, and you have those multiple finger gestures and stuff, so that way you don't have to worry about the trackpad. The trackpad is actually good on this one. So guys, what do I feel about this laptop? Certainly in terms of build quality, we are getting the build quality that we expect from Asus. A lot better than this Avita. This Avita feels flimsy and totally plastic. This also is mostly plastic, but again, this is that higher quality plastic, I would say, and feels much better built. Again, has that backlighting and all those things. And the keyboard and even the speakers I felt were louder compared to the Avita laptop. In terms of performance, both were running the 3500U processor, so very similar. But what I noticed on this Asus is that the fans did not ramp up that quickly compared to the Avita. On Avita, even with just casual browsing and stuff with 2-3 tabs on the browser, the fans were ramping up quite a bit. On this one, that was not the case. So looks like Asus did a better job in terms of thermals. But again, yeah, could expect that, because Asus has been making laptops for more than 15 years and they know what they are doing. So in terms of build quality, it's good. The fingerprint scanner, etc. is very good. The biggest problem that I have with this laptop is the screen. The screen quality, the viewing angles specifically, are simply not that good. And I would say, if you are a person who is into some color critical work, the NTC gamut is only just about 45%. I would not recommend this laptop for color accuracy. If you are doing video editing or photo editing work, the colors are simply not that good, not recommended. But if you're just a casual user doing Word document, office stuff, Zoom calls and stuff, yes, you can go with that. But again, the screen quality is the biggest con that I have with this laptop. In fact, the Avita screen is a lot better than this one. But again, Avita's, the build quality is very flimsy compared to this one. So if that screen quality is very important to you, the color accuracy, I can't recommend this Vivobook. But apart from that, it's a good one. Specifically, I would say from a price point, that 35,000 rupees variant that comes with 256 gigabytes of storage, as I told you, that looks actually like a nice one. You're getting a laptop from a reputable brand, so you know if something happens, you'll be taken care of. But that 35,000 rupees variant does not have that backlit option that we are having on this one. So guys, that was it for this look at this Asus Vivobook 14. I'm also getting some other laptops also. Hopefully by next week I should get that, and I'll also review my personal one that I purchased for myself. That was the Asus Swift 5. I'll post its video also very soon in the next couple of days. So again, if you guys are still not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Ranjit and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.